Welcome to another episode. I'm RJ Ochoa, and our lovely guest today is Kiara Garza. She's a junior, the class of 2026, and she's an exercise science pre-professional major, a guard on the Schreiner Women's basketball team, and she's from Rio Grande City and here in Texas. And what was it like growing up in the 956, and how did that shape who you are today?
The valley is very small, relatively like speaking. So I would say just like the small community, we always everybody knew each other. My mom, I was raised in a family of five siblings, one parent. So we always just all helped out. Anything we needed, like the community was always there for us. And then I would say like when I grew up in church doing things, I was always in sports, like involved. So I would think because it was such a small like town, when I came to San Antonio and Kerrville, it's like very different. And I would say that like kept me reserved, but in a way like curious still because there's not much in the valley.
Was Rio Grande City smaller than Kerrville?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I would say
What do you miss the most when you're away from the valley?
the food.
The food.
No, I'm like my family for sure. I find myself like sometimes I'm like, okay, I wish I was closer to home, but then I'm like, no, because I do want to see what's out there, kind of experience life, the world. Not everything is as small as the valley. So I would say my family is probably like my biggest thing that like keeps me like, okay, I gotta go home, do this, do that. But yeah, I'm pretty family oriented, I would say.
Okay, okay. And what are some like memories that you hold with you while you're here at school or if you're on the court, like what memories do you that keeps you going?
For sure, like memories of my family and my best friend from back home. I have little siblings. They're like my kids. Like I raised them. So it's like seeing them grow up from afar is like really hard. So thank God for technology and like FaceTime, but it's still hard not actually physically being there. So whenever I do go home or like the times that I've been home before I came to college, like I really do hold those memories like close because like it's all for them in a way.
Yeah. Let's go back and talk about your high school basketball career. It says here you have 1,000 plus points at Gruria High School. That's pretty interesting. That's pretty impressive as well. How did your high school basketball career help prepare you for the college level?
So yeah, I'm in the 1,000 point club. That's cool. But high school basketball is definitely very different from college. Like anywhere, I think there's always going to be like politics and stuff. That's just how the show is ran. But like high school, there's a level of maturity that's not there yet. Like a lot of the players are just doing it to fill their time or like just to be involved in some things, keep themselves like active. But at college is like you got to get what you got to get done and do it the best way that you can because there's other people fighting for these spots. So it's definitely it's a different switch like from when you go to high school to college, but it's not impossible. Like
Yeah.
it's fun.
One thing main thing for me is because I play on the baseball team is the age difference. So you come in, you're 17, 18, going against 23, 24 year olds. It's intimidating versus from in high school, everybody's younger and not know the game as much as they do here in the college level.
Yeah. It's everyone's learning from each other, but at the same time, like, nobody knows anything in high
Yeah.
school. And it's like in college now, it's like we're all pretty much at a good level. So it's like you should know what you're doing.
Yeah. What was the most defining moment of your high school career and why out of all the moments, because the 1,000 point club, that's impressive, but is there like one moment that sticks out to you more than the rest?
I would say when I was a junior, I was selected district MVP, offensive MVP. And I think that was like the first like securing moment that I was like, oh, like I could actually do this. Like within myself, like I actually have the confidence of with the work ethic that I have, like continuing to train, continuing to do what I'm like what I've been doing. I know I can actually make it at the college level and like actually compete and perform. Yeah, so I would definitely say like during my junior year, that was like the big shift of okay, this is not just a dream anymore. This can become something real. So yeah.
When was that moment for you that you really wanted to continue your basketball career and pursue a college career? Has it always been throughout the 4 years, or your junior year, like, hey, let's get this show on the road?
High school was high school. There's coaches that are a certain type of coach. There's players that are certain type of players. I really felt like throughout my high school career in the beginning, I was really just like playing, but I didn't want to. You don't want to suck. You want to be good. You want to have some pride in yourself and your game. So I was like still like working to get there, but I met one of my coaches my sophomore year, and it was like the really big push of okay, if you're training, you're doing this, you're doing that, like you can actually get there. And because of the fact that I felt like I had no support from my own coaches, it was like a thing of I'm just gonna prove everybody wrong. All of you say that I can't, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it 10 times better than any of you could. And it's not to be like, oh, like I'm better or whatever, but it's no, it's not. There's I know in another high school, there's a girl like me that was like everybody was telling her no, like you're never gonna be able to be anything. And here I am. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't get that chance. I'm grateful. But
And you made it to the next level. You proved them all wrong, but I know your journey differs from a lot of people's due to your freshman year injury, and I want to talk about that a little bit. Can you walk us through how the injury took place and how it impacted you?
so my freshman year, it was November, and we were having like practice during Thanksgiving break, and you don't get to go home. It's during the whole winter, and it's not even a good story. It's like it's in practice. You're going up for a layup, somebody comes down with you, and I just felt my ankle just like I heard a pop, I heard a pull, I heard like all types of things, and I just was in so much pain. And everybody thought I was like, "Oh, it's just a sprain, it's just a sprain." I was like, the next day I was like hopping myself to the trainers till I need crutches, like I could not walk. And then after getting x-rays and like MRIs, I had a circumferential fracture. I had tore all the tendons and ligaments in my ankle, and I was basically like bone to bone with my cartilage, and it was like really bad. I wasn't able to get surgery till like about 3 months after that, the initial injury. It was like a really big like pre-rehab, pre-surgery, and then like surgery happening. So I had surgery January 8th. Like I'll never forget that. I had surgery January 8th, and then it was like almost 4 months of no weight bearing. So I was on a scooter, and let me tell you, if you've never been on a scooter, that is the most humbling thing that can happen to a person. Like it's it was fun sometimes, but you're like so limited and you feel like you can't do anything, and like now you have to rely on everybody. But my team was great when I went through surgery, but it was really like it was obviously like physically painful, but it was like a mental pain too, because it was like now I'm pulled away from something that I've been doing for so long. And it's in a way I had an identity in it. I've done sports for my entire life. Basketball was really one that I like focused in on, and I was like locked. I really wanted this and I worked for it. And then to finally get there and your whole career just goes down the drain in 2 3 months, and it's a whole other year of recovery. You're back like 30 times where you were. And it's hard because now you're like, okay, well, I have to come back. I have to come back stronger, and I have to come back and compete to be able to get a spot and playing time and etc. And to gain the trust of my teammates, to gain the trust of my coaches, you have to work. There's no way around it. And it's hard because like I went home for surgery. Like after my surgery post op, I was like 2 3 weeks home, and so that was nice because like I had my mom to help me like do what I needed to do. But like when I came back, I was like, okay, now I'm just like I'm on my own, having to do my rehab, my recovery, like how to get stronger, how to navigate what it was as surgery. Like that was a really big thing for me. And it was just hard because like it pulled so much away. And I just felt that was once I knew like I got past that, I was like, okay, everything basketball wise, it's gonna be fine. Like you can't get any worse than breaking your ankle and literally.
So all the work you put in high school and all those hours and one practice, you just get an injury. And a lot of people maybe call it quits, hang up the basketball shoes, and they move on. And I've never had a major critical injury like that for me to be out for an extended period of time. So, what was the mental and emotional journey like during your time off the court? Because I know you said it wasn't easy, but was there like a glimpse of, well, hey, I'm gonna get back out there, or was it a, I don't really know yet?
I can like vividly remember having a conversation with one of my trainers from back home. I called in and I'm like, dude, like I don't think I can do this anymore. It hurts so much to even just try. Cause I would just When I was out, I was just on the bench, like not even on the actual bench, mind you. I was like sitting behind the bench because everybody was scared that my ankle was gonna get hit with a ball or something. And which is fair precautions, but I just felt so like I was not even a part of the team anymore. And that was like really hard because you get to a place where it's like I actually got comfortable with the girls and I was getting gaining this confidence in myself that like I could actually play. And then this happened and it was like, okay, it felt like it was all taken away. And so when I called my trainer, I was like, Pat, like I don't think I can do this anymore. It sucks to be in a position where you feel like everything's ripped from you. And he's beep, no, what's wrong with you? You're not gonna do that. You've worked so hard and like you've come a long way, like you've put so much into it. And he's like, how are you gonna give up on yourself now? There's so many people behind you. And it's true. Like I'm so grateful to have the support system I have because without them, like there's no way any of this would have happened. But just it was hard. I don't even know how to explain that if you've never been through it. I've struggled like identity wise because of that, because I was always surrounded in sports. And it was just one of those things I was like, okay. There was days where I was like, I'm not coming back. Like I'm not gonna do it anymore. Like I'm gonna go through rehab and just finish out whatever I need to finish out with college, get my degree, move on with that. But then there was like days where I was like, I'm just so ready to be able to walk again, put myself through the painful rehab is not fun. Like it's hard. You're in real pain and you have to push through it. You have to go to be able to walk again. Like that moment of like when I first walked post surgery, it was like I was crying. I was like sobbing because it was like, how did that even happen? And yeah, so it was like a back and forth thing for a while. And then I finally was like, okay. I called my mom and I was like, after this, like surgery and everything, what do you think I should do? She's like my best friend. She's the biggest support I've ever had. And her opinion means a lot to me. So she was like, Mija, whatever you want to do, I'm always going to support you. You've worked very hard to get here. And now I know it's not fun being after surgery, like post op, but do you want to give it up? And I contemplated that for a while. And it was probably like a week or so. And I was like, no, if I give it up, it's like I'm giving up on myself. And I refuse to give up. At least you can't give up on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kept you focused and hungry to get back there on the court? Was it, I know you had a good support system, but within yourself, was it a goal you wanted to accomplish here? Is it something you want to graduate with that task of the student athlete?
That's
What
a
kept you motivated besides your support system that really kept you hungry?
I think a big part, my family, my everything, but my team, like going through surgery and everything, when I would have to go to like my appointments and stuff, I didn't have a car at the time. So I was like, now I have a scooter, but I'm not gonna scoot all the way to San Antonio. That makes no sense. So my team definitely had my back as far as they would take me to my appointments. Specifically, I had this one friend, Janelle, and she would take me to almost all my appointments. And it's hard because we're all college kids, we all have things to do, we're all busy, but they really took the time to take care of me because I didn't have anybody else. I'm 5, 6 hours away from home. I'm on a practical wheelchair. It really was one of those things where my team, I felt them step up for me when they saw that I was like losing it. Not the love of the game, but like the want to be there. Because you don't want to see people like doing everything you love.
So your teammates having your back made you want to get back on the court and have your teammates back, essentially is what you're saying.
Yeah. It's just basketball's a team game. And if you don't have that kind of chemistry or like connection with each other, then it's what is all for.
Yeah. So you got back on the court this year and you had a new coach coming in. Things gonna look a little different coaching wise. Let's talk about the team. How has the transition been with the new coach this season?
Definitely new, I would say, for sure. Like all around. There was a new team, new coach, new expectations, new kind of chemistry, new type of basketball, still basketball, right? But there's certain coaches like certain type of styles. Some coaches like to play faster, some don't. Thank God she didn't really stray away too much from what we had already previously been as a team. But just because like it worked for us. And the more like the majority of us were returners, like we already knew like how we were set up as a team. So it wasn't as like bad as I thought it could have been. I think there was just some little tweaks like that we could have made just to like continue to bring each other together and then bring that on the court. Cause it's like we have great players. We really do individually, but sometimes we struggle like putting those pieces together. And I feel like now that it's okay, everybody knows each other. We're good with the coach. Everybody knows like what it should look like I feel like next year will definitely be better.
Okay, and you talk about putting the pieces together. What role do you want to take for the team this next coming season?
I'm definitely, I would say, an outspoken person. I bring a lot of energy to the team, that's for sure. And I think because of that, a lot of the girls trust me with like feedback in a way. Because when it comes to, okay, we're trying to give your team help from the sidelines. And the more that you help them, the more they trust you. And I feel like because I don't, not that I don't care, but I don't care if somebody feels like their toes get stepped on because I'm not ever gonna tell somebody something like in a disrespectful way. But at this point, it's okay. We're playing college ball. Like we all have criticism. Like there's always gonna be constructive criticism. And if you can't take it at this point, like you maybe probably shouldn't be on the team. But I think like being in a leader role, not as far as I need to drop 40 points a game, but because we have other girls that can do that. Bree Sosa. But like sometimes there needs to be that voice that like makes the team stay together, like in a way like a glue type thing. And I feel like that kind of started for me when I got injured because everybody saw that I was like, oh, I don't know, so iffy about coming back, about actually wanting to play the game. Should I play? Do I even belong here? And then because of that reassurance, like everybody always told me like, Key, we want you on the team, like you're such a great piece to our puzzle. And I really feel that even coach sees that like now that I do bring that kind of like leader voice in a way. And obviously never to contradict her. What relays from coach comes down the train. But yeah, I do think like I could feel a like leader-ish role.
Okay. You're talking pretty well spoken now, so I have no doubt that you can fulfill that role this next season. And I know we talked about your injury a little while ago, but this year, I know you had some minutes and it wasn't maybe what you were hoping for or what you were expecting, but coming off of injuries is hard. So this year was your first year on a college court. What goals and what do you want to accomplish this next year that you're looking forward to?
Because like I was out for so long, when I finally did get that chance to be on the court, regardless of like how many minutes or even seconds it could have been, like that was one of those things I was like, I if I get the time to be out on the court, I'm gonna make the most out of it because I felt like that was one thing that nobody really understands unless you've been through it. When you have that taken away, you don't take it for granted as the way you would before. Because when you're not injured, like you're like, okay, like I'm playing, I can play all the time, I'm good. But after surgery, it's okay, I'm not as good as I used to be. I'm behind everybody. There's things that now they scare me, whether it's going up with a certain type of contact or whatever. So I feel like that was one of those things where I was like, if I do get the chance to be on the court, like I'm gonna make the most out of it. I'm grateful for every minute and every second that they give me. But now it's like I have enough experience. I'm yeah, technically like I was a redshirt freshman this year, gonna be a sophomore basketball wise, but it's like I have a mental maturity like of a senior. You're already pretty much experienced in the game, in school and everything. And it's next year should just be easy breeze. Like playing time shouldn't be a question. Getting things done shouldn't be a question. Winning shouldn't be a question. It's like now we just got to do it. But the ring, everybody wants a ring. That's the goal.
Yeah,
That's what's got to happen.
playing to win, yeah.
Yeah.
And basketball is huge, and everybody doesn't get the opportunity to go to play to the next level, to get to the next level, play college basketball. But I want to know your goals outside of sports. What are your biggest goals moving forward with both basketball and life after college?
Basketball wise, I think after like I do graduate, finish out my years here at Schreiner and being a part of the team, I think that's just my goal to finish out a college career. I don't gotta be the best player on the team, but I know that I do bring the intangibles that they still are important. And I think just bringing that for the next 3 years, basketball wise, that would be good for me. And then being able to move on and then hopefully start PT school, get into my career. And then later on in life, maybe 10 years down the road, actually start a family, kind of give those experiences that I had like to my kids and just live the rest of your life.
When basketball eventually ends, what's the next dream you're chasing? What's the next thing that you're focused on, that you stay hungry for, that you really push yourself?
I have this like little kid secret dream that I'm like, I've always wanted a little cafe, like bakery type thing, but like that has karaoke.
Really?
Like a little, I don't know, just a little, I don't know.
I can see
I'm
that
kind
your
of,
baking skills are
you know what I mean?
definitely up to par. I think you can make that happen.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
That
But
would
like,
be I
yeah,
I'll
just
be your
later
number
on
one
in
customer.
life. You know?
How do you balance school, basketball, and your personal life?
That's a great question. It's hard. It really is. Just like being a student athlete alone, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time because college by itself, just school in general, is there's a lot of hours studying, a lot of hours doing class. And then it's okay, now I gotta go to practice, I gotta go to the weight room, gotta go to the training room. Now I got to go to work, make money. And it's like, where do you find the time to sleep? But it's not bad. It's not as bad as you would think. I think it's just like about time management. My Siri is going off. Can you be quiet? Thank you. Yeah. So I would just say it's like time management and the discipline of actually doing what you say you need to do.
Yeah.
So it's like if you know you have XYZ and you have a whole 3 hours before, you can get things done. But it's just okay. You can't take a nap right now. You need to get this quiz done. I don't know.
You're better than me. If I had 3 hours, I'm sleeping 2 hours and doing everything the last hour. That's props to you.
That's your motto.
Yeah. When you're off the court and so you have a little bit of free time, what do you like to do with that spare free time where you can finally just sit back and just take that deep breath and just let off some steam?
Sleep. I feel like no, definitely sleep. But if we were like off season and stuff, and we do have like more time, like specifically here, I like to go to the dam or like the river. It's nice. But just like in general, I don't know. I feel like I just hang out with my friends. If we have time and there's money, like we'll go do something. But if not, we just like chill, watch some movies, just like comfort stuff. I don't know, the easy things.
Well, what advice would you give to younger athletes who has faced like an injury like yours, setbacks, or even doubt, if they were just sitting here and looking for Kiara Garza's advice?
Oh, just don't give up on yourself. I think that's the main thing. The whole world can say that you can't, but if you think you can, you will. And that's like the biggest thing because I feel like that's what kind of kept me going through what I went through. You have a support system, like there's people there that care for you, and you might not see it often, you might not see it at all, but it's like you're never completely alone. There's always going to be at least somebody. And that somebody's going to root for you. And it's okay. Do it for them then. If you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for them. But just always work. There's always somebody like outworking you. And I think a lot of the kids nowadays, everything's like really handed to them or like baby spoon fed in their mouths. And that's not how the real world works. Like things are going to get hard. People are going to outcompete you. They're gonna outwork you, and it's what are you willing to do after that? Are you just gonna give up? Give up on everything that you've done? Or are you just gonna try harder? Try again. Yeah.
It's a good piece of advice. And I got one more question before we close up here. It's a very important question.
Yeah, great.
Who is winning a 1v1 on a basketball court, me and you right now?
Me? You're don't even shoot a shoot.
I guess we're gonna have to find out. But you've been an amazing guest. You answered all these questions pretty well, and I want to thank the Texas Hill Country Podcast for letting us use their studio. And thank you.